The financial war has begun, a global economic war. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Bitcoin and XRP will be the two biggest disruptive cryptocurrencies, store value, and technologies that we've ever seen for our living history. Now, remember, monetary systems last about 100 years. Bitcoin will be mined for another 116 years. Bitcoin was created in 2009 after the biggest financial collapse in our history, where our government was not regulating the banks. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin's created. And now we are the Bitcoin capital of the world, the crypto capital of the world. And Trump brought in what's called the Genius Act. Is it by chance that it's called Genius Act that uses treasuries? Stablecoins use treasuries, and we have a bond problem. So I'm going to explain it in a simplistic way, and I'm going to share with you how I am positioning myself to beat inflation. Because if you don't become an investor and you don't understand how to invest in assets, when these interest rates come down, you are going to become poor. That's how the mechanism works. It gets you through inflation, which is illegal taxation, or taxes. The Federal Reserve is not federal, nor are they reserve. And since 1913, they've collapsed the value of your dollar almost 99%. And it's about to get worth less. So let's dive in. Now, the first thing that I want to show you is Russia is now catching on to everything we've been telling you. I've been sharing with you guys over and over and over again that Trump is going to make us the crypto capital of the world. That's what he says. Okay. Bitcoin is going to be a store of value that is going to shrink the balance sheet of America's debt crisis. You have an asset on the balance sheet. It's just math, guys. It's appreciating 50% every single year. I believe they're going to revalue gold and just do an accounting mechanism and move the profits over into Bitcoin, into the new digital gold. Okay. They're going to start to pay off debt by creating a sovereign wealth fund, creating investments that grow over time. They're going to bring all this money back into America, and they're going to grow their way out of the economy. But they are going to print the living shit out of your dollar, and they're going to put it back into a low interest rate environment because we're heading off a cliff to stimulate the American middle class. But here's the thing. One man's assets are another man's liabilities. There's no real money in the system, guys. There's debt and there's assets, and it just moves back and forth. So when the dollar weakens, we're heading into assets. And when the dollar strengthens, we're selling our assets to the people who don't understand, who are trying to get rich quick. And then we repeat the cycle. That's just how it works. There's no emotion in this, guys. If there's a $20 bill sitting on the ground, it doesn't have an emotion. It doesn't care about you. It doesn't think about you. It doesn't even know it's a $20 bill. Whoever picks it up gives it value. That's how the system works. So we're going to watch this first video. Now I'm going to walk through this with you. I'll read the caption. This is posted by Crypto India. It says, new Russia warns US is trying to exploit global crypto users to erase the $35 trillion debt by pushing stablecoin adoption backed by US treasuries, then devaluing the dollar. If you watch my videos, I've been saying the exact same thing for the last 3 months. I've been trying to share with you guys what is actually happening here. The bond market, nobody showed up to the bond auction. Okay. Nobody's buying bonds. 30% of our debt is held outside the United States. Most of it's held by Japan and China. They could start dumping treasuries on us. We're completely debt. So basically, we buy bonds. We're loaning the government money so that they can keep this machine going. Think about that. But the Genius Act stablecoin, now Trump has the fastest growing stablecoin in history, uses what? US treasuries. Tether uses US treasuries. USDC uses US treasuries. RLUSD uses US treasuries. So if you're in Zimbabwe and your country is devaluing your currency, you're going to use a stablecoin, which uses US treasuries backed 1-to-1 by the dollar. But if you don't want to listen to me, let's listen to what Russia is saying and the threat that's happening right now. But this is going to push global adoption. Now the war is starting financially.
Америка прямо сейчас
Says the US is now trying to rewrite the rules on the gold and cryptocurrency markets.
пытается поменять правила на рынке золота и криптовалют. В Вспомните,
Remember, the size of their debt is 35 trillion.
какой у них долг. 35 триллионов долларов. В общем-то, это
These two sectors, crypto and gold, are essentially alternatives to traditional global currency systems. Okay. Are you starting to see what I've been sharing with you guys since 2020? People are moving into deflationary assets outside the global currency system.
два альтернативных валютному сегменту мировых рынка. Действия Вашингтона
Washington's actions in this area clearly highlight one of its main goals that I've been sharing with you guys since all this started coming out.
в этом направлении отчетливо демонстрирует одну из главных американских задач. Они
To urgently address the declining trust in the dollar.
очень хотят решить проблему снижения доверия к доллару. США, как это
As in the 1930s and the 1970s, the US plans to solve its financial problems at the world's expense.
было и в 30-е, и в 70-е годы, будут решать свои финансовые проблемы за счет всего мира, загоняя всех.
This time by pushing everyone into the crypto cloud.
Куда? В криптовалютное облако. Со временем,
Over time, once part of the US national debt is placed into stable coins, Washington will devalue that debt. That's what I've been telling you guys, the exact narrative that he's reading off.
когда часть госдолга США будет размещена в стейблкоинах, США обесценит этот долг. Еще раз простым
Put simply, they have 35 trillion in currency debt. They will move it into crypto cloud, devalue it, and start from scratch.
словами, у них сейчас валютный 35-триллионный долг, они его загоняют в крипту, в облако, обесценивают и начинают с нуля. Это для тех, кто
That's the reality for those who are so enthusiastic about crypto.
очень любит заниматься криптой.
Okay, so they're putting a negative spin on cryptocurrency. Now, here's the thing. It is the only option. I would love to hear your opinion. What's the other option, guys? China's buried in debt. America's buried in debt. The world is debt. Most countries operate on a fiat system. So what are we going to do? Just keep printing money? We're just going to keep monetizing debt? People can't afford a home. People can't pay their credit card. Guys, they're bringing in a new system. Biblically, the 50-year jubilee. Okay. However you want to put this, there's people going way down the rabbit hole saying they're going to reset everybody's debt. There is a monetary reset happening. It happens. Study Ray Dalio. If you've watched my content, I've really pushed people into Ray Dalio's content. There's rise and falls of superpowers. Unfortunately, systems don't always last, guys. They always change. Yes, there is a monetary reset. And now the beauty in this is you're not in 1929. Hear ye, the banks are collapsing. In the telephone game, it goes from person to person to person. You can do your own research. You can actually see what's happening. You're going to be able to see this on the blockchain. Here's the thing. Something has to happen, though. And it's going to be stable coins. It's going to be Bitcoin as a new value of gold. Countries are going to hold it on their balance sheet and treasury. We're holding it on our balance sheet for our company to increase the enterprise value of our company. We're storing 20%. We run 20% profit margins. We're putting 20% into digital assets. Why? Because inflation. They keep devaluing our dollar. It's on my job as a CEO of this company to increase the enterprise value of my companies. So I'm going to make sure that we responsibly take some of our profits and we put into an asset that's going to appreciate and beat inflation. Okay. I mean, it sucks, but right now, like a home is not even a good investment. It used to be one of the greatest investments in America. And now people can't even afford to pay the mortgage. I was going to do a single family home rental property in Arizona here, $100,000 down, a $300,000 to $400,000 property. I can't even get a property low enough with interest rates to cover the rent. The prices are too high. So it doesn't make any sense. So I'm not going to put money into that area. I'm going to go into some commercial funds. Think about that, right? So that means that my money is not going to go, it's not stimulating the economy. If the interest rates were lower, which that's the key, why do you think Warren Buffett went heavy into new home builds? I think it's Lennar. Don't quote me on that, but I think he went heavy into Lennar new home builds in Florida because he anticipates the interest rates are going to come down. Now that's a great thing to stimulate the debt-based economy. But guys, that will push us into inflation at some point. It's just a wave of energy. It's going to look phenomenal for the markets for quite a while. And that's why you need to understand how to ride these waves. Unfortunately, it just doesn't still go straight up. People watching this, my average age group is 35 to 75. Okay. You've been through some cycles. Have you ever seen the market just go like this? No, it doesn't work that way. Okay. We got to ride this wave properly. We got to get on a surfboard right now. Okay. We're going to be able to ride this wave up. We're going to get a huge appreciation in crypto, probably in my dividends on the stock side. Right. But it's going to come back down. And when it's going up, boom, I pull profits. When it's coming down, I enter on the way down and we just ride the wave. It just cycles over and over again. It's been doing this since monetary systems were created. So get out of the emotion, guys. Learn how to ride the wave. Okay. So they're talking about stable coins. They're talking about what America's doing. They're clearly putting, they see Trump's playbook. They see what's happening. Okay. And so I want to explain to you what stable coins, okay? The potential impact of stable coins on dollars' global role is hotly debated, okay? For the US dollar, stablecoins for the US dollar, stablecoins strengthen dollar dominance. Stablecoins may boost demand for US treasuries and cement the dollar's position in cross-border payments and reserve by making dollars simpler to use abroad. It's that simple, guys. That's why Trump launched his own stablecoin. Trump came in, he's playing chess. So Russia's over there going, oh shit, checkmate. He comes in, the crypto capital of the world, starts World Liberty Financial, his own DeFi platform. So now he has his own decentralized bank, his own banking system that's outside the central bank. It ain't American, it ain't China, it ain't Russia, it's World Liberty Financial. Anybody can get access to it. You own the token, you have the governance. It's the people's bank. Okay. He told us 7 years ago, you're going to be on an even playing field monetarily before you know it. This just didn't get planned out 3 months ago. This just didn't get planned out 2 years ago. This got planned out 7 years ago. And for 4 years, he planned this out. He comes back after telling you cryptocurrency is a fraud, just like Larry Fink, his trusted advisor in the past. They both told you that Bitcoin was a fraud. And in 2023, something flipped that they know behind the scenes. Larry Fink went all in on Bitcoin. Trump family started going in on crypto. By the time he came back, he ran as the crypto capital of the world, probably by wise counsel from his sons. They started World Liberty Financial. You got the Trump family, Trump Jr., Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Barron Trump, the Witkoff family, the Witkoff. Is it Witkoff? I'm mixing up my people. Yeah, Witkoff family. So you got Zach Witkoff. I forgot his father's name. So you'll see the Witkoffs traveling around with the Trump family. So the brothers, the sons, are hanging out with Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump. Steve Witkoff is hanging out with Donald Trump along with Howard Lutnick, who is the CEO of Cantor. I'm going to keep connecting these back to you guys. Guys, this is why I don't get emotional. This is why I love red in the markets, because I know what I hold. I know that Bitcoin is going to be here for a long time while I'm alive and beyond that. I know that XRP is going to be something that's going to globally change cross-border payments. Okay. So I make my investments not on emotion, but on understanding what is actually happening here, what needs to happen. So now we know what Russia is saying is true. Trump-backed World Liberty Financial gets a Coinbase approval with USD1 stablecoin listing. He has the fastest growing stablecoin in history. This is their gold paper for World Liberty Financial. It states it right here, guys. WLFI strongly believes in supporting US dollar dominance based stablecoins, DeFi applications that seek to preserve the US dollar status. He literally is verifying exactly what this gentleman is saying. They're not hiding this. Exactly what this gentleman just said from Russia. It's right there in the gold paper. I think they call this a gold paper. It's usually called the white paper. He says it right here. Okay. Says it right here. Their mission is to democratize access to financial opportunities. Okay. Fortifying the global status of the US dollar, To accomplish this goal, World Liberty Financial strongly believes in supporting US dollars-based stablecoins and DeFi applications that seek to preserve the US dollar, verifying exactly what this guy just said. He's right. They're reading these gold papers, guys. They know Trump is playing chess right now. They're playing checkers. They're trying to catch up. So as we move along, just in, Congress introduced bills directing the Treasury to outline a plan to custody Bitcoin acquired by the federal government, including BTC held in the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. Let's leave with this. The Clarity Act provides the necessary tools to establish a federal framework for digital asset market structure and critical Senate. It's critical the Senate passes the bill to ensure U.S. remains the leader in digital finance. Okay, so where we're at right now, let's take a look at the markets. This is Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. I highly recommend you check this out. This is my company, one of my companies. This is Merlin. I'm the co-founder and creator of this. We designed this with 38,000 lines of code. It keeps you safe. This is how I view my crypto. When I'm traveling around, I never pull up my exchanges. It's an interface, puts all your cryptos in one place from all your exchanges in one place. So you're organized, it's clean. You can see the markets, you can see your daily gains and losses. And guess what? Nobody can hack your crypto. This is an interface. So if they hack Merlin, they hack data. They can't even touch your crypto. We don't trade your crypto. We don't hold your crypto. It's just an interface. Magical, right? Then you go here, you can see the market snapshots. You don't have to be obsessively looking at your exchanges. Okay, you see BTC is at 112,000. ETH is at 4,300. XRP is pumping up right now over $3 once again. The total market cap is at 3.9 trillion. Okay, that's how much growth we have, guys. The global markets are 111 trillion. We're a baby market, guys. BTC dominance is at 57%. I believe we'll start to see an altcoin run in October, November, December. Yeah, we're going to see. I still think we're going to have a phenomenal back end of the year. You can also set up an exit plan, which is super important. We call it a profit taking plan. We teach you exactly how to do that. Okay, this shows you how to do it. And then if you're stuck, we have the best customer service in the world right there. So what you're going to do is you go down to the description of this video, click the link, you get 30 days for free. You can try it before you buy it, play around. I promise you, I caution you, once you start it, you're not going to stop it because our customers absolutely love it. Or in my social media platform, click the bio, 30 days for free. Again, I am the co-founder and creator of this. This is my company, and I'm very proud to say that Merlin is the smartest way to track your crypto and keep you safe. All right, so let's dive into this. So I share with you on the back end of every video repetitively exactly what I do because I think it's important to repeat the same things over and over and over again until it gets ingrained in your subconscious mind, until it becomes an unconscious activity. So here's the important thing. You should be leery of the person that their narrative changes like this, and maybe seek wise counsel from a person that has their roots so deep like an oak tree that they can't be swayed. I can't be swayed in and out of my investments. Here's exactly how my ecosystem works. I focus on 4 things. It's an ecosystem. It is ironclad and tight, and I've been focusing on this for 5 years. Cash flow. I believe cash is trash. I work to beat inflation every single year. 2% inflation. I work to do that by 2 things. Okay. When I get cash flow, I create more cash flow by using cash generating dividends on the stock side. Okay. So now I have cash flow for my cash generating businesses. I have cash flow for my cash generating dividends. I take that cash flow and I personally transmute it into deflationary assets. I use cryptocurrency. I love cryptocurrency. I understand it. I study it. And I'm very focused on a few cryptocurrencies, which I'll share with you in just a moment. So I'm moving my cash flow from my businesses and my dividends, okay, into deflationary assets that have fixed supply that are going to grow and appreciate over time. The crypto market is like this. In the short term, it's like this. If you can't stomach that, don't even get into crypto. The long term, it's like this. Bitcoin has beat the S&P. It's been every single asset class the last 10 years. So I store my US dollar over here in Bitcoin and XRP. Okay. So every single week, every single day, I buy Bitcoin and XRP dollar cost average. Instead of buying Starbucks and junk food, going out to eat, I buy XRP and Bitcoin. Okay. Every single month I buy Solana. And then remember, we have the cash flow. So we have excess cash flow outside of that because over the last 5 years, I built cash generating businesses. I've kept my debts and non-negotiables very tight, lean and mean. So my income increase means my investable income increased, right? So as my investable income increased, I didn't buy Lambos, Ferraris, big houses, and watches. I bought assets to beat inflation. So we crushed inflation from 2020 to 2025. Trump gets elected. Boom, big profit. Now we're still waiting for some exit targets. I do exit. I think it's ridiculous not to exit. I think it's watching an asset go up and then come slamming back down. I mean, what are we in this for? We're in this to help build wealth for our family. So I exit. Remember, Bitcoin's off to the side. We're going to move into category 4. Okay. So Bitcoin is gold. We're not touching it. All other assets, I hold 50%. I exit 50%. I profit on the way up and I move it over into cash value life insurance. Okay. That creates what I call the richest man in Babylon. So I earned $1. I took $1. I put it into an asset. That asset creates a brother or sister, some appreciation. I take the brother or sister out of the system. I take the brother or sister and I move it down and I create another brother or sister, richest man in Babylon. Now that brother and sister creates number 4, leverage. So now we have a brother or sister over here that we created, which is Bitcoin. If you read Richest Man in Babylon, you know what I'm talking about. We have Bitcoin and then we have insurance. This is cash value life insurance. Sorry. So now over here we have Bitcoin and we have cash value life insurance. So guess what? I can now create 2 more brothers and sisters. So $1 became 2. The 2 became 1. The 1 becomes 2 and the 2 becomes 1. And then guess what we can do again? Leverage. And then what do? We buy cash flow. So what you do is you get to the point where your debts and non-negotiables can be paid for by assets. Now your earned income is all investable. That's how I did it. That was a system that I created. I just stayed disciplined and consistent for a longer period of time until that became my new paradigm. And so now all my debts and non-negotiables can be paid for by assets. So when my dividends are paying me, right, that was the goal. So I just set a goal and that's what I did. When my dividends are paying me, if everything collapsed my businesses, I can still pay for my family to live. Now, why did I do that? Because they came and shut my business down in 2020. And I promised myself I would never put myself in a position that a man or woman can take away my ability to take care of my family. My family will always have food, always have shelter, because I understand how to invest now. Okay. I call myself a Warren Buffett style investor. I am obsessed with creating cash flow off of businesses and dividends. Okay. As I mature, I'm 49, I'm going on to 50 to 60. I'm going to work to be Warren Buffett style. I'm not going to, unless something just magical comes up, I probably won't be getting into the other businesses. I'm going to be working to get into, I'm building out this whole strategy around high risk dividends, medium risk dividends to low risk dividends that pay me guaranteed, up into medium, which can be a little bit volatile, and then to volatile assets or volatile dividends that I can de-risk, high risk, de-risk, it's a whole system that I use. My point is I'm always creating cash flow. Okay. So I never buy a liability unless it can be paid for by an asset. Okay. So for example, you guys maybe follow me on my social. I finally got my wake boat. That is paid for by assets. So debts and non-negotiables are good. Above and beyond that, I was able to pay for the boat outright, not outright. There's no reason to. We used the OPM, other people's money, the payment, the slip, everything's paid for through assets. Okay. It's also created an expense model. It's based on our businesses and stuff like that. But it took me a while. I wanted the boat in 2020. I wanted it in 2021. I wanted it. I wanted it. Didn't need it. But until it could be paid for by an asset, I waited. And now it feels so different. It feels very, very different because as I'm on the boat, I know number one, that I turned a liability. I wouldn't say it's an asset. It's still depreciating, but it's not being paid for and taking money away from my family, if that makes sense. Now I'm driving something that feels totally different. It feels like freedom. We can relax. I'm not stressed about putting gas in it. I'm not stressed about paying the slip. I'm not stressed about paying the note on it. I'm not stressed about paying the insurance. And I know that when we're out there driving the boat, that our family is stacking investments. And I started after losing everything in 2020, guys. There's a video coming out today where I explain my whole ecosystem in the education section. So check that out. I explained to you how I started. I started out with $30,000 in crypto. And I did the opposite of what I saw with a lot of people. I didn't buy stuff. I bought businesses. I bought cash value life insurance. And I studied the shit out of cash flow quadrant, richest man in Babylon. And I decided to put blinders on. I started ignoring the haters. And I just stayed disciplined and consistent for a long enough period of time to access a new paradigm. And now I'm in a different paradigm. And now 2025 to 2030 is generational wealth. Okay. I would say the rich and wealthy is very different. And I say this all the time because I want to explain this. If you get rich quick, you're going to go broke quick because it's so tempting to buy the boat in 2020 and 2021 and 2022. That's why I give these specific examples, not to brag, but to share with you what you might go through. Is I wanted it so bad. And if you're in my academy, I explained there was a Corvette that I did. Let me tell the story. So in the first bull run, I created a business called Abundant Rentals. Okay. So I created a business called Abundant Rentals. As you can see, I wakeboard. I love adrenaline. Like I'm an adrenaline junkie, right? I love experiences and I like driving fast. So I got a track Corvette, and my thought process was created a rental company. I was going to rent it through Turo and create a liability into an asset so that the people could pay for the note. Jesus. And so as soon as I started driving that, this is why I'd be very careful. This is a mistake I made. As soon as I started driving, I'm like, I ain't letting nobody drive this thing, right? And then my CFO was like, "What are we doing here? We created an LLC. We're gonna do this." And I was like, then at the feeling of the car and the vibration, and I started driving it. I drove it for about 10 months, and I sold that damn thing because it was literally sucking money out of my pocket. And I bought a home instead. So I sold it, bought a home, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude? Like, stop!" Like that car, I call it the $400,000 car. If I would have taken the amount that I spent on that car in a year and I put it into XRP, it'd have been 400 grand. So it was a $400,000 Corvette. That's how you need to start thinking. You just got to be patient. You got to be persistent. You got to be disciplined. You got to be consistent. And you got to build a creed for your family. Mine is God, family, protect your ecosystem at all costs. And that's my decisions that I make. Very important. Actions, behaviors, decisions. And lastly, stay out of other men's business because you're too busy working on yours. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.